So I'm live. Um, I just want to get on here a little bit early so I can kind of just check things out, make sure that it's actually working, and see. Because I'm not really good at this. So far, I'm not really good at the live stream, but it's something I kind of want to do. So I just want to see if everything is working. If anybody comes on, okay, I got one person come in. I appreciate you coming in. Basically, I just started early so I can go ahead and see if this is up and running or not, and that's why I'm here. So, I mean, if you could, uh, just type yes if you see the live stream, and if you can hear. There's okay. I got one like. That's cool. That must be out there. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, if you come in and you're a fan of the channel, or if you're not a fan of the channel, just go in the chat and introduce yourself. Just your name and where you're from. That'd be great. My name's Randall Meek. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't seen me before, I live in the Philippines, in a town called Iloilo City, actually outside, and in a smaller town called Pavia, and this channel is called the Philippines Project. So I'm just not assuming anything. Hopefully, you know, you may have watched the channel before. I don't know, but there's a chat box down there in the bottom. If you'd like to ask a question, I would encourage you to do that. Make a comment maybe on a video that you've seen. Um, Anybody that's in here, looks like there's one. How's the audio? If is the audio okay? I've got a fan running in the background because it's not super hot here, but it is. If I don't at least have a fan, I don't want to be sweating on camera. So anyway, if the audio is okay, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, audio is great, Mike. Uh, all right, couple more people. Thanks, Mike, for coming in. I think you commented like yesterday or day before on a video, something about the health insurance. Is that right? I, you know, maybe not. I could be thinking not. It may have been a Jeff. I don't know, but it seemed like Ross was the last name. But anyway, okay, it wasn't you. So, of those that are in here on the channel, are you a subscriber or not? I'm not going to try to twist your arm or anything like that. This is just informal chat. Uh, if you have any questions about living in the Philippines, you may be living in the Philippines. I don't know, but or Mike, do you live here, or do you live in the United States, or where do you live? I'd be interested to know that. So, but I'm actually from the United States. Obviously, you can tell by my accent or whatever. A little bit in the South, in southeastern Missouri. Okay, all right, Mike. Yeah, I YouTube's kind of my go-to thing as far as even when I sit and watch TV here at the house here in the Philippines. I mean, YouTube probably 65, 70%, maybe 80% of what I watch. Okay, so uh, a brother Canadian. I'm not from Canada, but we're both from North America. That's cool. Uh, I've never actually been to Canada. Now my wife's been there. She's been to Montreal. She's been to Niagara Falls. Okay. Uh, you're from Maryland. It says Punishers. Looks like kind of like I spell things a little bit funny, like a handle like that, a name on YouTube. That's pretty common. Maryland. Wow. So you're in Rojas City. Uh, you're not your actual name's not Jerry, is it? Because I know a guy named Jerry that's in Rojas City right now, and he's from the same town in Missouri that I'm from. So, and hopefully we can meet up. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. Comic book publisher, but no, I've got a friend named Jerry that I know, Dwayne. Okay, he Jerry's in Rojas City. Rojas City's a place I've been pretty close because I've been to Boracay, uh, but it's I think let's say east of Boracay maybe, or on the way to Boracay. But and I've thought about making trips up there, but I can't really find too many resorts up there online. There may be a bunch of them I don't know about, but so if you have any suggestions about that, yeah, east of Boracay, that's what I thought too. Um, yeah, so Rojas City, about all I know about it is the seafood's supposed to be great, and they make this art out of the shells of some kind of sea animal. I don't know, some kind of mollusk. I'm guessing. Yeah, yeah. Rojas is in the middle of Boracay and Iloilo. I took a Saris bus out of Iloilo City, me and my wife, and I think it was like between 400 and 600 pesos each, and we just rode up there. It took a good 6.5, 7 hours, almost 8 hours to get up there. But yeah, it's well, Mike. What do you mean you can't compare it to Iloilo City? I guess Iloilo City is a big city. Sometimes, sometimes too big. You know, I have a subscriber of mine. He's from I think from Texas, but he lives in the Philippines in Otan, which is north of Iloilo City, and he said he hates Iloilo City. And I thought, wow, really, that's pretty strong. But I can kind of relate in a sense of liking the small town, you know, atmosphere. And I live in Pavia, which Pavia is big, but the section I live in is like really small town. It's kind of rural, and I kind of like it here. So my buddy Vince from Otan, he said he didn't like to go into the city. He'd rather have a small town. And Otan is a pretty nice little city. So yeah, that Mike, that's what I thought. We went. Let's see, this past year we went in April to Boracay, and it was a good time. We stayed at boat station two, um, and I can't remember the name of the hotel, but they got several hotels there. If my wife was here, she probably would remember. But Boracay was pretty cool, But we stayed there probably 10 days because we had two sets of friends, one from the U.S. Well, two different sets of friends from the U.S. came. One set came and they left and we stayed. And then our other, some of my close friends came from Missouri and we stayed in Boracay with them for a while. And it was really beautiful. That's the first time I'd been back since '07, and that's only the second time that I'd actually been to Boracay. So, okay. Um, you went to Iloilo to get your visa extension. I'm uh, I'm married to a Filipina, so I'm over here on a what they call a balik bayan visa, and that just allows me to stay for a year at a time without leaving the country and coming back. And when I come back through, they stamp my passport. Most of you probably know, but they stamp my passport with that little BB balik bayan, and so I can stay here for a year. But I've really been thinking about uh, going, Dwayne, going to the immigration office and applying for some other kind of visa. And I know a lot of YouTubers get on here and they know all about the visas. You should get this kind. This is how much it costs. I I've never really had an emergency where I really was forced to go to the immigration office here. So it may just be apathy on my part or something, but I really haven't got a visa where I can come and go by myself. With the Malik Bayan, you have to travel with your wife. So if we went home or she stayed here and I flew out, I really couldn't come back by myself. So that's an advantage. But we go everywhere together. So Dwayne, what's it take about 2 hours to get down here, something like that, from Rojas City? Oh wow. Okay, Mike, you said it's like hanging around in Molo. Um, Mike said I've got a vibe of a mini Bacolod. I've been to Bacolod one time, and there's a lot of fine people there. Uh, I didn't, infrastructure wise, cleanliness wise, I was not overly impressed. I'll just be nice about it. It wasn't horrible, but you know, Iloilo City is pretty nice, so I'm kind of used to that. Uh, Ibasan, that's the outskirts of Rojas. Um, I've got a guy who watches the channel. Man, I wish I could remember the little town. It's right outside of Rojas City. He's actually married to a mayor of the little town, and they own a rice. And shoot, he may be you may be on here. I don't know, but okay, 2 hours. Um, yeah, so they own a big rice milling operation, and he commented on one of my videos on Guimaras and said something about the fence, and I think he was right about that. He said, we're putting up a bamboo fence. That's what we're doing right now. That's really our only option without doing a huge major investment in the property, which I don't want to do right now. I've got some other investments that I'm having to make back in the United States in some of the uh, commercial property that I have. So I am actually, Mike, I'm north of Iloilo City. If you come out of the city, you go up. Wow, the door slammed. There's a lot of wind here. Not too windy today, but evidently it caught a door. Um, I'm probably 20 minutes, 15 minutes from, depending on traffic, from, say, the SM in Iloilo City. You just come north and come up to Aganon, and you make a left. Let's see. No, you make a right at Aganon, coming into Pavia, the old town. All right. Looks like we only got a couple of people on here. Yeah, Pavia, and and Pavia is, again, it's a big area. I got to take it easy on my voice for some reason. It kind of like wanting to fail me for some reason. But Pavia is a big area, but yeah, Pavia has changed a lot in the last 10 years. Uh, I started coming here in '07. It was the first time I came. And it was, I mean, I live on a concrete street right now, and there was no concrete in this whole neighborhood or the road coming up to the neighborhood. And yeah, it was, if it had rained, it was fun. You had to carry an extra set of shoes if you're going to walk to town because the ones you're wearing were going to be muddy. So, okay, Dwayne, it's cool, man. Hey, I appreciate you subscribing. And this is kind of an impromptu thing. I'm going to try to do, some more live streams. And I don't know if this works out well for anybody. Looks like we've got some new people coming in. I appreciate that. If you're new to the live stream, if you don't mind, put up your name or where you're from, at least your YouTube name. That'll kind of keep you incognito if you want, if that's important to you. But we're just doing some informal question and answer stuff today. So I'll look at some of the comments. Dwayne, that's cool, man. I'm glad that you came across the channel. Sound like you really got connections here in the Philippines, and I'm really glad you came on board today, this morning. So, but anyway, what's going on with us? I'm about to buy a new motorcycle, a different motorcycle. Um, Come Tuesday, I think I'll finally pick it up. It's used. Uh, Another expat is had it, and he had the service done on it every 1,000 kilometers. He's had the oil change, and I know the guy pretty well, so I don't feel bad. It's a Honda AV1. It's a 150. I think it's a 150, and it's a 2022. It's not very old, but I kind of wanted that. I've been running my 125 Kawasaki Rouser, and it's a good bike. I still like it, but when you ride somebody on the back, it's a little top heavy. And we actually, if you watch my videos, we had a wreck in it. Not a bad one, but bad enough for me. It kind of really made me think. And another thing, the Kawasaki doesn't really have much storage. That's why I had to put a top box on it, and that's what I use for storage. But this AV1 Honda, it's pretty smooth. I rode it around the other day, and this friend of mine, he's an expat, and he's going back to his home country, so he just wanted to get rid of it, and so I'm paying him a fair price for it, and I think I'm going to like it. I hope I really like it. But yeah, that's a new thing. The fence building in Guimaras, that's a brand new thing. People are over there about every day. My wife goes over actually more than I do with her brother and two brothers, and then we got a carpenter that goes over there too. So they're splitting out the bamboo. I'm going to be putting up a video. I think I put one up already that kind of shows the fence. It's a temporary situation. There's termites. If you don't know, the termites are so bad here in the Philippines. Who knows how long it'll last? I apologize. I'm trying to keep my voice going for a little bit, but yeah, the termites on the property, and I think it's really common here. When we get to building our new little Bahay Kubo, it's going to be about 20 by 20, and we're going to put it on concrete. Uh, and we're going to put it on hollow block on top of the concrete. We're going to treat the ground around it, and then we'll make most of it. Structurally, it's going to be made out of steel, and so termites can't eat steel. Just the rust and the wind and all that stuff. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. Mike, the Guimaras property is investment is a secondary consideration. I'm 62 years old. Uh, I'll be 63 this year, and we always wanted a property like that. So we finally found one. We looked for like a year, and we finally found one that we wanted. So we went ahead and we're still in the process of buying it. I don't know if you've ever bought property here, probably have, but it's not without its issues. So the process of buying this property, my home property here, really not any issues at all. Just bought it. People took the money, gave us a title. They had a good clear title. But over there, it's called a CLOA title, which is like a gift from the government originally, and they have to farm it for so long. You may know what a CLOA title is. But then they got to farm it for so long before the family can actually sell it. And those titles are, they are definitely can be an issue. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause just for a second. I'm going to turn this fan off over here. I think that may be affecting my throat. So I'll be right back. All right. So I hope that helps. But the CLOA title, is it takes a while. They said 3 to 6 months. Well, it's been 7 or 8 months, and we're no closer right now to actually getting possession of the deed. We've got possession of the property. That comes, when you put the money down. But yeah, so it's just kind of up in the air right now. So they say we're on legal ground. We're on good legal ground in Guimaras, but we shall see. That's the way of the Philippines. You just wait until you find out and go from there. You can hear some like metal shop going on behind the house. That seems like every Saturday he does a little bit of stuff down there. He's got a shop. But anyway, any more questions? There's been a couple come in. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to just see post your YouTube name or whatever, or where you're from. Again, if you come in later, I'm from Missouri, and I live here in Pavia, in close to Iloilo City, in the Philippines. So I'd appreciate it if you could make a comment and ask a question. Uh, just I'm just looking at the chat here real quick. Mike, where do you live in Elo? When you come to Elo City, where do you come? I'd be interested to know that. I'm trying to learn all the parts of Iloilo, and but there's a lot of little barangays, a lot of little towns. There's Haro. Yeah, I was looking at some Mike. I was looking at some news reports. I was looking at like how the real estate market is in the Philippines, and the sale prices on land. It's been going up like 6 and 7% a year, which is huge. I mean, it is what it is. I don't really tell people what I paid for my property, but it wasn't. I thought it was very reasonable. Um, but you can find property for 120 pesos per square meter, which the whole square meter thing kind of, I'm used to it now, but it kind of blows me away. Why would you buy it per square meter? But even even 120 pesos per square meter, if you buy any large tract at all, it still amounts up to a lot of money. And just for instance, in my neighborhood, there's a little corner lot. I've got a next door neighbor, and then there's a corner lot. I was kind of interested in buying it. It was about 240 square meters, but they want 7,500 pesos per square meter. And I'm like, I can't really even do much with that land. I'm not going to, I don't even know what that is now. It seemed like it was around 30 something $1,000 for a small tract. By the time I put a vehicle on it and, a small garden, that's a pretty expensive little uh, garden that I'd have to have. I've been on that Jaladoni Street, and I used to stay. Well, one time I stayed for like 2 or 3 weeks in Villa. If you know where the Laxton Maritime School is, and there's a 7-Eleven right there. There's some condos right behind that. I actually stayed in those condos for a couple of weeks, 2 3 weeks, one time. It's pretty nice, and we ate it. Of course, ate at Tatoy's down the road. It was pretty good ways from the airport. I remember back then it was 600 pesos to get all the way over there. And that's been a few years ago. I thought that was all the money in the world back then. but Villa's cool. And it's probably a little better place to live than some places. Uh, some places in Iloilo City are just too congested. I think Haro is just like full of people. I love the plaza. I did a video on the plaza. It's a beautiful plaza, and they got a lot of stuff going on over there. There's a lot of business in Haro, but man, to go around that Haro Square is just, especially at any kind of rush hour at all, and it's almost always busy. But man, if you go at rush hour, good luck, man. I took a motorcycle one time out of the city and come up through Haro, and I was exhausted. I got around the plaza, and I just took the first place, pulled over, and just ate at a restaurant. We stayed there probably an hour and a half, just to let the traffic chill a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure the air quality is a lot better here.